Well, it's been a little while, and if you're still here, I want to say thank you. I've been a little quiet because I didn't have very much to say. My wheels were spinning, spinning, spinning. I was doing so many things. Oh, do you notice my new glasses? These are techie glasses. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I really want to ask you to subscribe to this podcast because it's my intention to use it to help people. The more people that see it, the more people I can help. And hopefully, I can level out the cost of producing it. That's my small favor. Like, share, subscribe. I've always promised myself that I wouldn't just talk about this work, I would live it first. And that is what I intend to do. Let's back up a little bit as to why I decided to pause the podcast. I was spinning my wheels so quickly, moving in so many different directions, I couldn't tangibly hold on to one thing. I had originally started working part time after resigning from a job that was full time, loved it, but then a full time opportunity came up and I jumped on it. That was a mistake. It was so time consuming. I was on call 24/7. It was very stressful. There were some personality difficulties that I encountered on the job, and I could feel my energy sinking day by day, even though I was in a field that I love. So, after some time, about a month ago, a little more than a month ago, I decided that I would resign, and I did. Right now, I don't have a job, which means I don't have that additional income. But here's the beauty of what happens when you allow yourself to grieve and move forward. Someone reached out to me and said, "Hey, I see you're doing retreats." Yes, I am. I am doing retreats too, and I would love to have you be a part of our retreat. I said yes. So, a little bit about that later, but that retreat is going to be in November in Belize. So excited for that. Fast forward a little bit more. I've been attending this wellness center in my little hometown, Bellevue, Ohio, called Younique Wellness. And that place is amazing. They have the most beautiful sound bath that I've ever been to, and I've been to a few. They have these wonderful healing modalities, infrared light therapy, salt booth, so many things. And they're doing classes. I contacted them and said, "What do you think about doing some art classes? Oh, what do you think about doing a day-long retreat?" Yep. So I have had numerous opportunities present themselves with a little bit of work from my part. Like, things can fall on your lap, but you have to do some action too. So, have this whole new life opening up to me because I said no to something that wasn't in alignment with my energy and my heart and my compassion. And I said yes to me. Not only am I doing things and putting these things out into the world, I also took a deeper dive into my own self healing journey. I joined a group with Garen Shea, formerly Garen Jones. It's a bunch of creatives from all over the world. Like, we had people fly in from Colombia, all over the United States to join in this collective retreat, and it's been amazing. I'm connecting with so many people from around the world, and more and more and more opportunities are coming for me. So, what's that have to do with you on the creative grief journey? I don't just talk about this stuff, I live it. I invest in myself. I do things. I started going through the book, The Artist Way, again, which is a daily journaling prompt. And I have a daily journaling prompt for you too. It's 30 days of journaling that comes in your email once a day. If you've downloaded it before, that's fine. You can get it again for sure. I will have that link in the show notes, and it's free. It's just a little gift from me to you to show you the power of journaling, putting things on paper, and actually going through the steps and committing to yourself. So I did that. I started doing the artist way, and more things opened. Then I started getting back into my art. I kind of put that on the shelf for a while too. The first thing I did was not the first thing. I started making these little hearts for the Great Mother March, which is a collective of beautiful women led by Whitney Freya that are walking from Asheville to Washington, D.C. And the intention of that walk is to promote unity, love, community, and spread the joy and the love that we all have for each other as human beings. I mailed a bunch of hearts to them to give out along the walk, and I thought, well, I think that's something that I'd like to do too. I've started just creating these little hearts, and you can see I've done a few of them. Every day I get up and I make a little heart. Some of them are fun, and this is something you can do too, right? What else am I doing? Oh, I started exercising on a regular basis. I'm not going to lie, change is hard. It requires discipline. And for somebody like me, I need guidance. That's why I created the program that I'm offering for grief recovery. Because when I first started going through my own grief journey, I really struggled for a long time. And you will. That's part of the process. But I threw myself into service work, which I still believe service work is a vitally important component of recovery. However, I kind of left pieces of myself behind. And after my second major loss, actually, it was my third major loss. I first lost my dad the week before my senior year of college. That was devastating. I didn't want to go into the funeral home. I hated it. He never got to see me graduate from nursing school and pursue my nurse practitioner degree, which was something that he was really proud of. I struggled with that. I didn't cope well. I just kind of buried it. And then when Bradley died, my son, it was extremely traumatic and I struggled with it. And I struggled with it a lot longer than I care to admit. Although I threw myself into activities and healing modalities, I didn't have a structure, something to follow to help me along the journey. And that's why I decided to create that for you because I've studied guided meditation, art, journaling, writing. I've written 4 international best-selling books. Me. Anyway, the grief journey is intense, but it's also something that has brought me such a profound sense of self and well-being. And it doesn't matter that it come to visit me once in a while, but life is so much more beautiful. And I don't know if I would have been able to experience the beauty, the joy, the abundant life that I have now had it not been for experiencing the contrast to that, which is profound grief and loss. Sometimes we have to take a step back and lean into ourselves. But I started thinking, man, I had so many people reach out to me and tell me that they've taken nuggets from the podcast. They've made subtle changes. They enjoyed listening. And so I thought it's time to bring it back. So, creative grief journey, it's not about stages. I talked about that before. They have the stages of grief, and I never quite aligned with that because I'm like all over the place, up, down, happy, sad, feeling like I've accepted it, feeling like I'm never going to get through it. It's really not about doing it right. It's more about having a place to come where you can breathe, where you can feel, where you can start to reconnect to yourself again. And from my experience through creativity, conversation, and simple daily practices, those things can really help. I call them grief lessons. During my podcast, I've talked about different lessons. The first one is really listening, leaning in, letting yourself feel the emotions, even if it's just for like a short bit of time, because those feelings are so intense that maybe you can't sit in that pain for very long, and that's okay. But there's no skirting around it, there's only through. And by going through, you will feel those deep, dark weights holding you back. But that's where community comes in, a sacred space where you have others that have walked through trying times and grief that can lift you up when you need it. And then conversely, you can do the same for them. I always used to say to Brad, "Who you helping?" And I knew that when he was doing really well, he was helping people. When Brad died, his friends sent me this little book, and I'm going to go get it for you right now. Oh, I'm back. Okay, so Brad's friends made me this book, and inside of it are, oh my God, inside the book are notes that they wrote about Brad. And then in the back of the book, they shared some pictures of my boy. It's a treasure. But let me tell you a little secret about this book. I reached out to one of Brad's friends and I asked, "Is there anything that you can remember about Brad that you'd want to share with me?" So I started that ball in motion. And one of the things that we don't do when we're in our grief journey is ask. People will say, "Hey, if you need anything, just reach out and I'd be there for you." But we feel like we don't want to be a burden or we don't want to ask. And I'm telling you right now, ask. Ask for what you want. This book is one of the most beautiful treasures. And I'm going to read you, if I can. Bradley, I'm so lucky to have known you. I see your smile. I hear your laugh. Get to know you. You are going to be missed so much. I'm sorry. I love you, Bradley. Oh, here's another one. Bradley was one of the best people I met. He had an unbelievable personality. He had the ability to just open up the room. He was the funniest person I ever met. Brad was always able to make people laugh no matter what mood they were in. He was truly a great guy. I got to read the back. With a great sense of humor. He will be truly missed. I didn't know him for long, but for the short time that I did, he was nothing but laughter. Bradley, I will surely miss you, and you will never be forgotten. That's just a couple of examples of these treasures that I have just from asking. I've not really shared this book with anybody in a long time, but it just means so much to me. I will forever miss that contagious laugh, amazing smile. You were one of a kind. I could never forget you. I wish I could turn back time, but I can't. So I just have to be forever grateful for the time that we shared together. I will always love you, always in my mind, forever in my heart, but never forgotten. When I talk about grief, I just want you to know that it is something that you learn to carry gracefully. But there are things that I've learned along the journey that I want to help you with. And if you've lost someone you love, reach out and ask for little notes. And you can put it in a book like this, and it can become one of your greatest treasures. So, this season, I'm going to talk to you about lessons that I've learned and share them. If you are like me and you get all over the place and you need a concrete 7-week program, you can reach out to me because I have that. But if you don't want to invest in yourself and you want to take your time moving through this grief journey, that's okay too. I will share these lessons over the weeks to follow. So, what can you expect? Real conversations, creative ways to move your emotion forward, little things you can do every day that help you feel a little bit more like yourself again. It's nothing complicated, just honest. So, wherever you are today, keep creating, keep feeling, and keep coming back to yourself. And I'll be right here with you on the journey.